Hey, it's Scott once again with great resources for coaches. Do you hear that? I'm in a gym right now. It's June. It's silent. This is a place that I've absolutely loved for the past 30 plus years. A silent gym. Not necessarily this particular silent gym. This one I've loved for the last few years. This is the gym that I coach in. It's just a middle school gym in my small town in Montana. But it's this concept of the silence of a gym that I want to talk about today. What is your sacred place when it comes to your coaching? For all my years as a varsity basketball coach, freshman, JV, sophomore, and then a middle school coach, there's been a lot of exciting times in a packed gym or a well-crowded gym. Too many to mention. And so when we think about our venues that we coach in and our venues that our players play in, we think about them filled. We think about the excitement and all the activity that goes on in those places. For basketball, it's the Friday night games or Saturday night games, packed house, nothing like it. Absolutely some of the most exciting moments that I've spent in my professional career. But the moments that made all that happen were these right here. A quiet, silent gym where it's just you working on your game in whatever fashion. As a player, as a coach. Apart from the silence, and one of the things that I used to love, and still love, but when I was a varsity coach, I'd love is after game nights where it's been packed, it's been loud, all kinds of things going on, and all the pressure and all that happens. We finish the game, we're in the locker room, it finishes, kids trickle out, make their way out, and I stay in the locker room working on things or whatever. When I was an athletic director, I might have things to do within the job, but then I'd go back into the gym after everybody was gone. And this is what I'd hear. This silence. And there was something special to me about that. I love the gym. I've spent so many hours in a gym. As a soccer coach, as a football coach, I spent many hours out on a field in much the same way. After a game night, a Friday night, all the lights are still on, everybody's gone, and it's just you. It's you and your thoughts about what just happened. I've always loved that. But today, I want to talk about one other aspect of a silent gym. Because the silence of this gym at this very moment means, well, there's nobody in here working. Well, this is the time of year when we need to make sure our kids are getting in there and getting their jobs done, getting their work done. So the other sound that I like is a sound like this. That sound of that ball bouncing. That sound of squeaky shoes, from people working and getting after it. Ooh, that sounds okay. That sounds better. But it's the sound of work. It's the sound of our players putting in the effort, putting in the time to become the best that they can be. Are your players getting after it right now? Are they getting into their gyms, out to their fields, into their pools, over to the rink, whatever sport you coach? Are your players putting in the time? And there's a variety of ways to do that. A lot of kids immediately focus on going and playing in tournaments. Those are very important. Some kids will talk about going to camps, going to exposure camps, going to team camps. And most of the time, what they're focused on is playing games. Playing games is an important thing for kids to do in the summertime, absolutely. But it all starts with this place. It all starts with whatever your sport is, the single individual workouts that your kids are doing. Are they getting in the weight room? Are they doing the skill work necessary to become the best individual player they can become? Because when you bring them together to go to tournaments or play in leagues or whatever you're doing, that's where you want to take the individual things that they're doing on their own and combine that and meld that all together to become the best team that they can become. And so they need that baseline of putting in the effort first and foremost on their own, getting their individual skill work done. So coaches, please make sure you're working with and stressing to your players the importance of getting their individual time. They don't have to get into a gym. They can do this outside on courts. If they're basketball players, they can find courts outside and do it. They can do it in driveways. Soccer players, football players, all the different sports that play outside can find parks, can find areas to go and get their work done. Now, I know you summer sport coaches are in your seasons right now, so the timing's a little different. But my focus here is, what are you doing in your off season, whenever your off season is? The second part of this, though, is what are you as a coach doing? Because this isn't just about your kids. We want our kids to be doing all that they can to become the best they're capable of becoming, and then getting together with the rest of their teammates to do the same thing. Absolutely. But we have a responsibility to do the same things. Are you reading? Are you watching videos? Are you going to clinics? Are you meeting with other coaches? Are you talking to other coaches when you're at tournaments or at league games or whatever? Are you trying to become the best you're capable of becoming as well? Because while it's so important that our players do that, we need to be the example of that as well. We need to put in the time to be our best in order to help our kids become their best. So let's make sure, coaches, that the rest of this summer, you make sure, of course, you need to rest and rejuvenate and relax. Some of the things that I've talked about before, absolutely. We need to take care of ourselves and get our batteries recharged. But we also need to make sure that we're doing all that we can to become our best professionally. Your kids need that from you. Your kids deserve that from you. So please, coaches, get out there, enjoy your summer, but also make your summer as worthwhile as you can, and make sure that you're asking of your kids the same thing. When you guys look back come season, come the regular season, you're going to be so glad at the time you put in. This is Scott once again with Great Resources for Coaches. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next week.